An ostrich could not have sex with a quail.
Come here! Let's go, give me a flipper!
All right. Welcome to episode 69 of Amateur Hour. We're coming to you recorded from Buffalo Wild Wings, where there will be an impending NFL draft soon.
It is draft day, day one.
Yes. By the time you hear this, all the draft stuff will have happened and you won't care anymore. Much like I don't care right now.
Yes.
But there was a playoff last week. By the way, I'm Cody and there's Troy.
I'm Troy.
Yeah. So there was
Emmitt Smith is next to us. The
Yeah.
most overrated running back of all time.
Well,
Should have never even been in the NFL.
on the poster, his name here at Buffalo Wild Wings is Emmitt, quote, Emmitt Smith, unquote, Smith.
It doesn't say that, but that's what we say it says.
Yeah.
It took him 27 years to gain 10,000 yards, and he's the best of all time.
Would you say he's the Craig Bagwell of
Craig Bagwell?
Joe Biggio? What's his name? Craig Biggio?
Which one?
Martin Biggio? What's that guy's name?
Doesn't he direct films?
No, that's Martin Van Buren.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not Martin. What's Jeff Bagwell?
Yeah, he's one of them.
Craig Biggio.
There you go.
Is it Craig or Greg?
Craig.
Oh.
He's from New York, so it's Craig.
All right, well, that's all the baseball talk I have for now. So last week we did the playoffs. And let's see, Exclusive played Cigarillo. Nope, hang on, wrong leg.
How did that go?
Sorry,
How did that
my
go,
bad.
by the way?
Exclusive's pretty good. I'll just say
Did
that.
they beat Pop?
Pop defeated the Aces of Base and Purple Haze in a three-way game.
Oh, they're playing sport ball as well? They're on the
Yes.
sport ball field?
Well, there was a contested pass that landed in the 4-yard deep end zone from the 10-yard alley field. It was complicated. All right, Walt, I'm sorry. I know that you want me to get to talk about the thing that you just witnessed, so let me get to the
We are talking about our
playoffs.
cattywampus field.
Yeah. All right, so last week was playoffs. Round 1 at 11 a.m. The Showstoppers took on Ghost, and the score was Ghost 24, Showstoppers 22. What's your take on all that? I mean,
the better team won, I think. The more consistent team this
Sure.
season won.
they did.
The Showstoppers had a chance to win it. I think if they win that game, they would have played the 409 boys in the next 409 takeover.
Yeah.
In the next round, and that actually would have been an advantage for the Herd, but we'll get to that later. But
Right.
the Ghost was obviously the better team all year, and they won that game. And
Well, they were the number
Yeah.
3 team,
Yeah.
and they defeated the number 6 team, so I think that worked out okay. Showstoppers still have any personnel.
yeah,
Not anybody showing up. And Ghost has good athletes, and they have a serviceable quarterback, so, that's
they're
good.
consistent. They're a consistent
They
team.
are
They're
a
the same
consistent
team
group of
every
people.
game. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the noon game, the Squad played the Herd, and the Herd won that 24-16. What do you think about that one?
The Squad is one of those teams that is basically they're one of those teams that's the same team every year. They get a little, they'll win some games, and they get some momentum, and then they'll lose 4 in a row. That's just kind of how they always are. It's and the Herd with us, we were basically a brand new team we had 4 or 5 of our original players still playing on the team, but with the new kids playing, we were a brand new team basically, and we're able to put on a good performance, a good defensive performance, score a couple late, and put the game away. And that's just a team with a game plan against a team that doesn't have a game plan.
Yeah, not to say that we do anything spectacular, but we have an offense and we have plays that we run through the offense. And even with David at quarterback for the Squad, or whoever, if they want to put E.J. LeBlanc back there, or try to find somebody else. If they just had a few set plays that were extremely simple, where you got the ball to David or Rob Hawkins. Actually, there was another 2 or 3 guys on that team that were really fast too. I don't know their names. But if you just had those simple little bubble routes where you throw it to Rob and just let him run down the sidelines, he can make one guy miss, get a touchdown.
Yeah.
And if David, when he's playing quarterback, would take off more, because I know he doesn't want to be selfish. I realize he's throwing the ball because he wants to be a quarterback and get the ball to his teammates. But if he were selfish more and just like, you know what, I'm going to run it, we couldn't stop him.
No, he would get a first down every time.
You know, so I think if they simplified it a little bit more and maybe had like 3 or 4 plays they knew how to run every single time the same way, they would do a better job.
Well, and if I'll kind of give away our little game plan on defense at the last half of the game was we just put everybody in the middle of the field. I was playing cornerback, and I was 30 yards from the sideline because he was not looking to the outside. He had Rob Hawkins the last drive on the sideline wide open. He could have scored anyway, throw it to the back of the end zone. I would have never gotten to it.
Right.
But we were congesting the middle because that's where you wanted to throw the ball.
Even if you had Rob or that other guy was on the other side who was also fast, turn around at the line of scrimmage at the sideline and throw it to him real quick, they'll get 10 yards.
Yeah,
probably more because we can't pull flags well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hope they get better because I like the squad and I like a lot of their players. I always like to see David and give him he has like the best bro hug. You know, he's a good guy. And I hope those guys can get – it would be great if they got a quarterback because I think if they got –
for 5 years we've been saying that.
Like let's say Andrew Allen, who plays on the Expendables, went to the squad. They would be 6-3 instead of 5-3 instead of 3-5.
Yeah,
like it would reverse their record. You know, so I hope that they can find somebody to do that. All right, so the 1 p.m. game,
semifinals.
The Herd took on Takeover at 1 p.m. and it was not a very competitive game.
No. They won 46-12. Takeover beat the Herd 46-12.
Yeah, and JC Doucette, the quarterback for Takeover, didn't have any problems picking apart our defense.
No.
And our defense and our offense had a lot of struggles scoring on their defense.
Yeah.
We threw some bad interceptions, even had some drop balls. I think our team was tired, and I think they are the most athletic team in the league by 2 miles.
Yeah.
You know.
We got the ball first. We went down and scored, took a 6-0 lead, and then they went down and scored in a couple of plays. And then we threw 3 consecutive interceptions. I threw 1, then Matt threw 2. Mine was a bad pass. 2 others were tip balls. But then 3 consecutive plays, and that put the game. They scored the next.
Oh, it was over.
We never stopped them.
Yeah, it was over.
That put the game out of reach. Early in the first half, the game was over with.
And they were so fast. Like those guys, Carnell Seals, at the end of the game when he was playing around, and we had Cameron, one of our newer guys, you know, playing quarterback. He wanted to play quarterback, and the game was out of reach, so no problem. Carnell, just because he was having a good time, ran past you, I think.
I snapped the ball.
You snapped it, that right.
Yeah.
And he just,
he got there about the same time the ball got there.
Yeah.
And pulled his flag.
I mean, even just joking around, those guys are so fast. And Darian Harper, who's playing safety for him, is unreal. Made
2 great picks and then a touchdown catch over James in the end zone. Just unbelievable plays.
Yeah, he caught the ball in James's arms.
He did, yeah.
It's crazy. So they did great. They won that game. The next game was Ghost playing the Expendables. That was a better game, but still the Expendables handled Ghost pretty well. It ended up being 34-24, but I really don't think it was that close.
It wasn't a competitive game. I don't think. The Expendables were the better team. They had I remember, was it Rob Gerard had a pick 6, I think, just outrunning everybody down the sideline. It was a great play. That really changed the fortune of the game and really put it away for him.
I thought that was the play of the game, and Rob is one of my favorite people in the league because he does a good job and he runs his team well. He doesn't complain. and they're always really competitive. So I thought it was really nice to see them actually get to go to a championship. And I thought Andrew Allen played really good quarterback in that game. He was making, kind of tight throws every now and then. He had some long throws, and I thought the better team won that game for sure.
Yeah.
So then the championship, which was kind of a lopsided win, Takeover beat Expendables 41-16, and honestly, that wasn't even that close either.
Yeah, the Takeover just proved they are the better team. They showed
Undefeated.
up. They showed up and they were serious about it, and they played hard and won easily. It's not both their games were easy competition, but hey, they earned that number 1 spot, and that's what you get.
And I'm sure I'm going to forget people, but I'll just name a few of their classic players that always play and do great. J.R. Williams, Herman Smith, Carnell Seals,
DeAnthony
Limbrick. Oh my God!
When he gets the ball in his hand,
he is dangerous.
Yeah,
that kid's fast. My son was playing blocking back for our team, Colin, and DeAnthony rushed one time, and he was like, "Dad, I don't know what to do." I'm like, well, no one else does either, son.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
Okay.
That's why he does that. That's why he's so good at it.
But like I said, I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but those guys are great. And JC has Bruce Reyes.
Bruce does his job so well.
Yeah.
He throws it maybe 6-7 times a game, but when he does, it's at the right time. They know when to get him the ball to make that play. It's almost like you're not expecting it because it happens so rarely throughout the game.
Right.
And when he gets it, it's like, oh crap, what do we do? And by that time, it's too late because he usually gets it back to JC on the run.
Right.
Who, when JC's on the run, is hard to stop. Or he gets it to somebody up the sideline. He's an accurate passer. He's probably the most accurate passer, I think.
He is. And Herman does something that I think is subtle and people don't realize what he's doing. But he snaps the ball 17 yards every play. And I know that people are like, so what? That is a long way. Thank you, ma'am. That is a long way to throw a ball between your legs every single play.
Yep.
So, a lot of respect for Herm. I thought, and also caught the ball. He played defense well. I thought he had a really good playoff. Daniel Atterbury was a factor. Everybody on their team, I thought, played and had a little role. Hats off. I thought they had a good season.
If the Jack boys were playing, I still think 409 would have won the championship.
Totally agree.
Yes.
And maybe the Jack boys will play one day again, and they can make me eat my
It'll
words.
probably be 8-0 or 16-0 before they get on the field every game. But
well, then they'll have to win by 8 or 16, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, so you want to talk about the awards? We have some awards to give out.
We've got season awards. We haven't done awards in a while because of COVID, so let's give our awards for the season.
Okay, you want to
Spring
start?
of 2021.
So why don't you start? Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year, we're giving to J.C. Doucette. He was the most consistent, best. Hand clap.
Clapping. I'm clapping now. Okay.
I'm going to give you your acceptance speech, J.C. I'm the ugliest player in the league, but I'm still the best quarterback in the league. That's his acceptance speech.
J.C., you know how I feel about your looks.
Oh, you're blushing right now. Look at you. You're turning all red thinking of JC.
No, it's the alcohol.
Okay. No, the best offensive play at quarterback, you have to be the best player on the field. You got to get the ball to the right people, and he does it. I think he threw very few interceptions. I can't think of any that he did throw. So
I can't think of any that I can remember.
Yeah. If he did, they weren't crucial because they went undefeated.
No,
so.
And every interception JC throws is 50 yards down the field.
Or someone else's fault.
Well, it could be, but I would certainly rather a 50-yard interception than an interception that gets picked off at the line of scrimmage and returned for a touchdown. And they're like blooped up passes that are kind of a 50-50 ball. So usually the guy who catches the interception falls down because you're both going up to get it.
Yeah.
So I think JC has the highest football IQ, the flag football IQ at least, of anybody that's playing the league right now. And he was the biggest factor on any offense of any team this whole year.
I think so. Yeah. Defensive MVP award. Go ahead, Cody.
Defensive MVP award is also for 409 Takeover, and it is for Darian Harper.
He made some great plays. Against us, he made 2 amazing interceptions and had like 9 more throughout the regular season. We only played 7 weeks. So, impressive. What a performance he put on this season.
And, interceptions are becoming more and more rare because this year the field was wider for marking issues. But a wider field and, athletes that are fast and can stretch it a lot, there were fewer interceptions. Darian Harper could cover from the center of the field all the way to both sidelines. I mean, he was
a cover 1 safety.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the football he took away from James in our game was amazing. Like, James Morrison is a great receiver.
Yes, great
and
hands.
That
and
guy
move,
went up and took the ball away from James. I actually think that was an offensive play, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Was he on offense when he made that play?
Defensively.
That guy is an unbelievable athlete. So Darian Harper, defensive player of the year.
Congratulations. Your gift certificate is in the mail.
Yeah, your gift certificate to I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think that's what I meant to say.
Compact computers.
I don't think I meant to say gift certificate, but whatever.
Yeah.
Your certificate is in the mail with your name on it. Whatever.
Okay, so Troy, newcomer of the year?
Newcomer of the year is going to Cameron Thibodeau of the Herd. One of the younger kids that came out and played, was consistent all year long, got a lot of touches on offense, scored a lot of – he had touchdowns, he had extra points scored, and got better throughout the year. And defensively was pretty solid on defense, pulling flags, got better all year. Had a few interceptions that he should have had, but was in the right place.
Next year he'll get those interceptions.
Yeah, he was in the right place. I think he was the most consistent newcomer, especially for us, and I think in the whole league.
Cameron, also, I'll say this, he has a pretty good knack for finding a hole in the defense whenever he's playing receiver. So there were several times where Matt would throw him an extra point or a touchdown where Cameron had finished his route, but then would kind of slowly find this little hole.
Float the window, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought Cameron did awesome, and I agree. Like, he showed up every week. He had a great attitude. He got hammered on a few plays.
He did.
Went up for a football, and everybody went down. Came back, played, no problem. So, yeah.
When I realized he was really invested in the team was when we beat the squad. On the last play, there was a jump ball in the end zone, and we knocked it down. And on the video, he's got his hands raised. He's so excited. It's like, this kid, he plays tackle football at school. That's more important. But he was excited. He was so happy that we won this game because it helped. That's when I realized, okay, he's invested in the team and the league. And from then on, he just kept getting better and got more touches and made plays on the field. So him and Lucas and Avery, Brock and Colin and Mitchell, just guys that came out and played consistent as much as possible. It was fun to watch.
Right. Now, I'll give it to all of our high school players. You guys made this more fun for everybody, not just us, but the other teams that played. We got compliments constantly on how, well you guys played and how well you acted as people. So if any of you are listening, we really appreciate you playing, and we hope we can do it again in the fall.
Yeah.
Okay, so team captain of the year.
Team captain of the year.
My favorite award.
Yes. The Cody Courts. This is actually named after you. We did name it after you. The Cody Courts Captain of the Year Award goes to
Robert Gerard.
Yes.
Gerard, I thought, has been an awesome team captain for a long time. He has, most people start a team with a group of people that they know well, like our team was a lot of guys we knew okay, My friends, your friends. I think a team named Ghost has a lot of people that hang out outside of football. Jack boys obviously grew up together. They know each other well. But Gerard's team was kind of put upon him, and it was a lot of guys who didn't know each other at all. And he's taken that from a random hodgepodge of people, and they were called the Expendables the first year they played.
Yep.
And they played in the championship this year. And they competed all year. I thought that they've added some nice pieces throughout the years with Trey Green. Andrew Allen's a good quarterback. And I thought Gerard was the most organized. He has team there every time. And when they couldn't make it, when it was hard for them, he still got enough people to show up to make it a game. So I thought he did a great job.
I did too. I think he took his team to a championship for the first time ever. which was impressive because there's some good teams, and he was able to get it to a second seed and then actually get to the championship game with a couple of quarterbacks. They had two different quarterbacks they used, and he was always positive with his team, and he always had the right attitude. He was never up or down. He was pretty even keel all through it. Well deserved for Robert Girard.
Sure. So next we'll go to the Most Improved Player of the Year award.
Most Improved goes to Connor Moore of a team named Ghost. Quarterback of a team named Ghost. I think he has consistently gotten better throughout, but this year took his team to a 3 seed. They've been to championships before, but I think his play helped the team just as much as anybody else. Everybody else is always pretty consistent on the team. I think he elevated his play the most this season.
Sure, and I had heard through the grapevine that we didn't give enough respect to a team named Ghost. But
no, you didn't give enough respect to a team named Ghost.
But I think that they have enough athletic talent to win a championship. I think they have enough dedication to win a championship, and I think Connor Moore at quarterback could win a championship. What they have to do to actually make this happen is have some sort of organization, some sort of plays, and some sort of defense that everybody knows they're running. That's the only thing they lack to me. I mean, Andy Romano's a good receiver. John Landry's an awesome player. They have other people that I don't know their names, but they are very fast. They can jump very high, and they catch the football very well. Connor doesn't know where people are on every play to throw the ball. So he's sort of guessing every time, and it's like a backyard football offense and a defense where no one really cares. So, to me, if you got organized, just put in a very simple cover 3 and give you 5 plays that everybody knows that are very simple, you would probably win a championship, or at least go to it and then get beat by JC's team, who, I don't know, next year might have a bunch of guys in wheelchairs that JC, takes a snap 70 yards back, and I don't know, but you could at least go to a championship. Because they have enough talent to beat the Expendables, obviously have enough talent to beat us, and every other team. So that's what, to me, you would have to do.
Yeah, I think they have the right build, and he's the right quarterback for that team. I think he runs well. I think he sees the field well. He wore an Enron hat one week, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever. I was riffing that game, and I thought it was so funny. I said, where did you get that hat? It was so funny. Because that probably happened before he was born.
No, Connor's 42.
Oh, okay.
Not really.
Oh, well,
Now he's 20-something.
Yeah. But
younger.
Anyway,
He's young.
just a consistent player. He is consistent. He's had ups and downs, but I think his ups are getting more than his downs. So I think at Most Improved is the right award for him.
All right. So congratulations, Connor Moore, on your Most Improved award.
Your certificate is in the mail.
Yeah, it's in the mail. I don't know your address, but I just wrote Connor Moore on an envelope and put a little sticker on it.
It's in the mail.
There's not a stamp on it. There's just a sticker.
A sticker.
Some other awards we thought of is Best Smile Award goes to Andrew Allen.
He does have a smile.
He's always smiling and doing a good job. I can't remember the other things that we talked about that were stupid. The Best Conservation of Energy Award for having the fewest people show up to actually make it a football game goes to the Showstoppers.
Yes.
They're like the electric car of flag football. They have the low gas mileage. Only 3-4 people show up a game, so minimal impact on the environment. Let's see, what else do we have?
Most resembling an RV.
Yes, the most resembling a recreational vehicle award goes to Matt Wilson.
Yes. He doesn't have a horn. He just yells out the window, "Can't stop! Can't stop! Can't stop!"
Yes, and
no brakes.
He's comfortable and accommodating,
and will take you anywhere.
Yeah, you're going to go 60 miles an hour and in a straight line.
And there's probably there's an acoustic guitar in there that'll play you any Jason Aldean song.
Yes, and a teaser here for you if anybody cares. In a few weeks, we're going to do what we call the Herd Jamboree.
The gathering.
At Matt Wilson's house to review our highlight video that I painstakingly make. And during that, we're actually going to have our interviews with Mitchell Wilson, who was one of the kids that played with us this year, and Mitchell's really into it, and he kind of organized the kids playing on our team. So we're going to interview him and some of the other kids.
We're not going to interview Matt, are we? I really don't want to talk to Matt. I want to avoid Matt at all costs.
You will talk to Matt, and you will speak to his redneck foot.
He's going to touch me.
He's going to touch you
Matt's
with his redneck foot.
I forgot about that.
And
is he going to call? Is Matt's redneck foot going to call in?
He does have to call in. We can talk to him in person.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He's going to touch me, and he's going to want to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to Matt.
Well, he will talk to you, and he will touch you, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh.
So there you go.
I will touch you then, and you will not enjoy
Now
it.
look. Anyway, sorry. Back to football stuff.
Oh, off topic.
All right, so those are the awards. Congratulations.
Aaron Ward, you won.
I'm sorry, Aaron Ward.
You got the award for Board Member of the Year.
Yes, Board Member of the Year, Aaron Ward. Aaron, we
put in
really
a lot of
appreciate
effort.
We appreciate your help, and we think you're awesome. I know it sucks to video the football games, but I really appreciate you doing that.
Also, Trevor Lawrence just got drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. First pick of the NFL Draft 2021.
Yay.
Look at that head of hair he's got.
Yeah, he got a great head of hair. All right, so that's all I have for this segment. Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay, what is our next segment? Tell me of the statistics you've drawn up. Walt and Jake Diltz, hang on now. These are good flag football statistics.
The next topic that I painstakingly did my research on are the overall totals of the SETX FFL since 2015. League totals, no playoffs, no COVID BCS totals, just league total, not playoffs, but no tournaments. But league totals for SETX FFL from day one, so 11 league seasons.
Cool.
So let's talk about it.
All right, so we're going to talk about the best teams through the first 11 seasons of SETX FFL according to the stats. Stick around. All right, welcome back to the show. We're here with our statistician, Troy. Troy has compiled the statistical stuff for teams since the league started. So, Troy, tell us what you got.
All right. So we started the SETX FFL in the fall of 2015. So we played 2 leagues a year since the fall of 2015. We did not play in the fall of 2020 because of COVID. But so we've had 11 seasons, 11 championships. We've only had, just looking at all the stats, we've only had one back-to-back champion ever. And you would think that there's only been a few teams that have won. There have been several teams that have won more than you think. There have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams have won championships. I mean, I find that pretty impressive. So
let's start us at the bottom.
At the bottom?
According to you.
Well, so let's go with the team with the least amount of wins and losses, but with a championship. So this team only played for 2 seasons. They played in the fall of 17 and the spring of 18. The Trill Black Panthers. They won the championship in the fall of 17, and then didn't do very well in the spring of 18. They went 8-8. Their total record is 8-8 with 1 championship. So
I thought that their championship was a fluke.
It was, yes.
I think they got lucky, honestly.
The Jack Boys got beat by the Expendables that year.
Right.
And we lost to the Trill Black Panthers in the first round on 2 drop passes in the end zone in the last 2 plays of the game. Remember
Correct.
that? So we could have beat them in the first round.
I thought that the stars just aligned for that team. I didn't really think they were a championship team.
But they did win a championship in the fall of 17.
They did.
So the next team down from that would be the Storm. The Storm played 4 seasons, made the playoffs twice, lost in the first round, and then won the championship their last season. They went 8-1 and won the championship. Their total record was 19-19 with 1 championship. So that's over 4 seasons.
Yeah, I thought Blake Dugas was the team captain of that team, and I thought Blake put together a good squad. It's a lot of newer guys that have never played before, and he stole a few players from other teams that made them into that championship team. Chase Boudreaux played a big part in it, They had some 409 boys that play with them. They did a good job. They just couldn't keep it together. I think that they would still be a championship caliber team.
I do too.
If they stayed together.
Yeah, that was a team that was building correctly, and then their last season they won it all, and then have not ever come back together as the Storm.
Everybody wanted to go back and play with their buddies.
Yeah. All right. So the next team this team played 4 seasons. They made the playoffs. They made it to the semifinals their first 3 seasons, and then went 2-8 and lost out and never played again. It was the Beaumont Stars. Their total record is 21-20 with 3 semifinal appearances. No championships, though.
So they were one of the very first teams to play in the league, and Carl Lambeth was their captain. Carl was very much into the flag football when it started, and Carl still plays on our team. But I thought for what it was, for completely raw people who'd never played flag football before, because I don't think any of those guys had played on any flag football team that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Considering that, I thought they did well. In fact, the last time they played us that I can remember, we won narrowly, and Carl teared up at the end because he was like, we're so close to beating you guys. Because they had Bruce Reyes on that team, and they were getting good,
Yep. So, and they had Tootie playing with them. They had JC play with them for a while.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah.
So they were building up a team. It just kind of fell apart for them.
This was pre-excellent the JC I see today. Kyle Pitts just got drafted. I don't know who that is. I don't know who drafted him.
Very loud.
But
so their last season was in the spring of 17.
Right.
So as we move on,
we
move on to all the teams are current teams that play in the league. So the next team we'll talk about is the squad. They've played in every season except for the spring of 19. They have never had a winning record. The closest they got was the 4-5 in the fall of 17, but they've always had a losing record. They've made it to the playoffs 5 times, have been knocked out. They've never won a playoff game. They've lost in the first round every time. Their overall record is 30-62.
30-62?
Yes. So they always feel like they're improving, but it seems like it's by 1 game at a time. Sometimes it's not at all. So they could be better. I'm not sure where they could improve with the way the teams are laid out.
Well, I know that the statistics are what they are, but I think that if the squad got Trey Green or Andrew Allen or Matt Wilson, Connor Moore, if you put any of those guys on that team, they have a winning record every year. I'm not saying they play for a championship, but I think they would have a winning record every year of the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
So that's really, to me, all they lack. If they could go find some kid that's getting out of high school or whatever, maybe going to Lamar, that played real quarterback in high school, played quarterback, has played it for his whole life. They don't even be good at it, just know how to read the field. They would get a winning record.
Yeah. Right now they're 32 games below 500.
Well, they're working their way back up.
Yeah.
They'll get there.
So the next team, we'll go with the Expendables. They've played in every season since the fall of 16. They've been to the playoffs every year except for twice. They've made it to the semifinals 3 times. They've made it to a championship. They just made it to the championship this past season. It's their first championship appearance. It was also one of the last 3 seasons they have a winning record. But their overall record is 35-49 because they started off pretty bad early.
They started off bad.
Yeah. So they've picked it up every year. Have finally made a championship appearance, but no championships yet. But that's a team that has a chance to win a championship.
Well, to me, they're like a stock that somebody bought when it was way low. And if you looked at what you just said, it starts off very bad. But they have steady growth. They get to semifinals and they get to a championship game. So they're pretty young. They're not a bunch of old guys.
Yeah.
I think that if they keep the same group together, maybe add one or two more pieces, like DT play with them, and if DT stays there, or they get one or two more guys, I think they could play for a championship again and maybe win one. I mean, I don't think that's outside of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, if you were with the Expendables, if you're looking at their stock, this is how it started. I'm going to read through all of their seasons. 1-10,
It's not good.
1-10, 2-8, 3-5, 4-6, 4-6, 4-5, 6-3, 5-3, 6-3. It's constantly going up, and they made a championship game last time. So
they were the number 2 seed this year.
Yeah, it's constantly going up.
So yeah, I think Gerard's done a great job with that team.
Yes. So we'll move on to the next team that has not won a championship, but is a current team. And right now, their team a team named Ghost.
A team named Ghost.
I put an asterisk because it's Ghost, Hitmen, Outlaws, GV&G, Clydesdales.
Yeah.
They've had so many different names.
GV&G was a fun team. I like them.
Their total record overall is 52-35. That's pretty good. They've never had a losing season. They've had
they've never had a losing season.
They've had one losing season. They were 3. The only year they didn't make the playoffs was in the fall of 17. They were 3-5.
I didn't know that.
They've only missed 2 seasons from the fall of 15. So they've played in 2 championship games and lost both of those. But have only missed the playoffs 1 time, and they're 52-35. So they're a very consistent team in our league.
I did not know that they'd never had only had one losing season.
They've only had one. That was the only year they didn't make the playoffs.
I didn't know that.
So very consistent.
Well, maybe I need to rethink how I feel about a team named Ghost.
See?
Maybe they need some respect on their name.
They should.
And right now, I'll say that they are slightly above average.
Yeah. I mean, they've played in 2 championship games throughout their career, so that's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty consistent right there.
Like I said, if they get some plays that they all know how to run and have a defense where people actually play, they'll have a chance. But that's what they have to do.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the last 3 teams, and they've all won championships. We'll start with the team that's played the least amount of games. That's the Jack Boys. The Jack Boys have they've missed a few seasons here and there, but they've won the most championships. They've won 3 championships.
They've only won 3 championships.
They've only won 3 championships, and none of them back to back. There's all other things going on in between. So their total record is 49-12.
That's pretty good.
That's also counting their 0-7 this past season. So that's pretty good. So before that, they were 49 and whatever that is.
49-5.
So that's pretty good. So 49-12, 3 championships. They've only missed the playoffs 1 time, and they were 8-2 that season, but it was because of the forfeit, so they didn't make the playoffs. Plus, this past year they went 0-7 and didn't make the playoffs. So 3 championships in 5 total seasons. That's pretty good. And a good record.
Well, when you say, though, sorry,
go ahead.
I'm going to add color commentating here. Well, when you say, are you done with your Jack Boys thing yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So when I think people that would listen to this would say, well, all the games they lost were from forfeits because they didn't show up, or they shouldn't have enough guys show up, or whatever. And while that is a valid thing to say and somewhat true, it's important because if you can't bother to actually show up to the field, you lost because you weren't responsible enough to wake up and come to the field. So to me, not only do those losses count, but they count almost twice as much because you didn't even show up to play.
Yeah.
And, despite how good you are athletically, it doesn't mean anything to me if you don't show up to the field. So go ahead.
Like their first season, they showed up in the spring of 17. They went 9-1 and won the championship. The next season, in the fall of 17, they went 9-0 and lost in the first round of the Expendables. So I mean, that's an 8 versus 1, and you lose in the first round. Then the next season, they come back at 9-0 and win the championship. Then they go 8-2 and don't even make the playoffs because of a forfeit rule. And then they miss the spring of 19. They don't play. Then they come back in the fall of 19 and go 7-2 and lose in the semifinals, and then go 7-0 and win, and then go 0-7. So they're very inconsistent.
It just sounds like a team who can't get their shit together and show up.
Yeah, really.
There you go. Go ahead.
But when they do, they're the best team.
Oh, when they do, I don't think they're the best team anymore. I think JC's team is 20 points better, or at least 10 points better. Sorry.
We'll
about
go-
10 points better. But I don't know. They don't show up. So.
We'll go to the 409 boys next.
Okay.
Their overall record, they've played in every league since the spring of 17.
409 boys, 409 takeover.
Yeah, all
Okay.
the same thing.
Well, JC took it over.
I didn't count the Black Mambas that season because the 409 boys were playing
You're
that
right.
season.
You're right. But
So-
it's 409 boys, 409 takeover, though, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes. So their overall record is 59-11.
Pretty good.
They've made the playoffs every year. They've won 2 championships and lost in 2 championships. So they've played in 4 championship games and won 2 of them. So they're 2-2 in championship games. I mean, that's as consistent as you can get, I think.
Yeah, and I'll hold this till the end because I have a question for you that we'll
Okay.
discuss. But they, they came and won the first tournament we had. Like they won. Football's coming, the very first one, and I just think that they know how to play that game better than anybody else that plays.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say for now. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
All right, so the next team. This team has played in every season since the fall of 16. It's the Showstoppers. Their overall record is 60-22. They've won 2 championships and lost 2 championship games. Also, just another consistency. You know, every year they're going to come out and be solid. The last 2 seasons, they have below 500 records,
Right.
which is an attendance problem for them.
Yeah.
So,
and
Other
that's
than
all it
that, other
is,
than that, they
really.
lose. The most they've won, lost 2 games, 4 games, 1, 2, 3, lost 0. So they're pretty consistent. Other than that,
Right, and to me, there's a difference between their attendance problems and the Jag Boys just not showing up. Because the Showstoppers, while they don't have enough people show up, do have enough people show up so they don't have to take a forfeit. And they don't do silly stuff like fight each other on the field and get kicked out of game. Like
yeah,
they require a different level of order than the Jag Boys do. So, yeah, I mean, they get their losses that they contributed to, but to me, it's not as egregious as the Jag Boys just not showing up.
yeah, exactly. So a good, very consistent team. 60 wins, the second most wins in league history.
Right.
1 more win than the 409 boys. 11 more losses, but still 1 more win.
Right.
The last team on the list, the team that has played more games than anybody, the Herd.
The Herd.
Played every season except for 1 since the fall of 15. We did not play in the spring of 2020. The record that the Herd has is 62-36, the most wins and the 3rd most losses.
Right.
But that comes with playing so many games. 2 championships, the fall of 15 and the spring of 16, went 10-0 and 9-1, and won both of those championships. And have made the playoffs every season since then. You know, have made the playoffs every year in the league that they've played. So, a very consistent team. Now, it could be making it as the 8th seed or the 1 seed.
Right.
It's very varied. But the only back-to-back champions in the league, honestly, it really is.
Which
So,
is kind of weird to me because you would think that somebody else would do that.
yeah.
I'll say this about our team. We have never had a lot of people play with us that weren't at least someone's friend on the team.
Yeah.
When I say friend, I don't mean acquaintance. I mean like real friend. A long time ago, Troy and I started this team in 2007. I don't even know if all of you were alive then.
Yeah.
But we started this team in 2007, and it was friends of mine, friends of Troy's, who played together. So we've never had a lot of people who weren't just part of the friend group play. You know, like even now, as we're getting my son and Matt's son to play, their friends are playing. So we've always been a pretty tight-knit group. We've had different people over the years come and play with us that weren't really, you know, our friends we would hang out with outside of football, but they didn't hang on. And I think that's why we are so consistent, is because it's a lot of people who genuinely like each other.
Yeah.
Like, and we get introduced to new people like Chad Norsworthy. I never knew him until flag football because he was a friend of Corey Bruno's, but I love Chad.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of a neat thing to me, and I like that about our team.
It's good when you know how people run their routes. You know where they're going to be. It helps the quarterback. Just knowing where people are going to be on the field. You know, I know when somebody's going to show up. I know what they mean when they say I'm going to be there, or when they don't say it. I know what they mean.
Right.
You know, So it makes it a little easier. You know, we're not a championship team, but we're a consistent team.
Sure, and we're always in it. You know, we're always around in the playoffs.
Yeah, we made it to the semifinals again this year.
I mean, it's not. If you guys are ever thinking about, having your flag football teams do stuff, I strongly recommend that you try to stick in your friends group and people that you actually like on your team, and don't branch out too far from people that you enjoy being around, because you might win a championship, but your team will fall apart later.
Storm.
There's 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
And our team's never fallen apart. We didn't play one year because we were old and didn't want to play.
Exactly. We had to get 15-year-olds to come play with us just so we could come back out.
It's not that we fell off. We all like each other. In fact, even when we weren't playing, our group message still
kept going.
Still kept going. So,
there are people that don't play on the team anymore still in the group message, still talking.
They contribute to the group message. So I'll ask you, Troy, you read all that? To you, who is the best flag football team that has played in the SETX FFL up till now? Not for a single season, but just best overall team.
Overall, I still think it's the Jack Boys, even though they're never. Yeah, same here. Even though they've never won consistently back to back, and their attendance is terrible. Anytime they get on the field, they're the best team on the field. Now, JC and they hardly have many different people. The Jack Boys are who the Jack Boys are. 409 has a bunch of different people come from other teams. They're always having different people. Not always, but they're usually 4 or 5 different guys on that team. So it's not the same team. The Showstoppers are usually pretty consistent with the amount of people they have. But I still think the Jack Boys are the best team when they are on the field, anytime.
Yeah, to me that was the two teams that I thought were the most serious contenders for the best team on that list. I'll give it to the Takeover 409 boys, because I don't feel. I think that if they played right now, JC's team would Takeover would win. At
the moment, yeah. At this moment, they are the top team.
And I think if I grab them like I'm playing on a Sunday, and I have a thing where I have to invite both of them to play a game for a championship, whoever wins, wins, and I have to do that over and over again. I think 409 Boys Takeover does it more often because, over the last year or two, I think they're just better, and B, I think they'll show up every time. I don't know that Jack Boys would, and that plays a large role to me in all that. Now, as far as athletic talent, if you said the most talented Jack Boys team against the most talented 409 Takeover team, Jack Boys have more talent. However, if we played that game, I don't know that the Jack Boys would win, even if they showed up, even if they had their people. It would depend so much on temperament of them not getting down early and not having some bad breaks that I still think the 409 Boys Takeover would win.
Yeah.
So that's where I go with that.
I'm looking at, let's see, I'm going to look at the undefeated teams that have been in this league. The Jack Boys have 3 undefeated seasons. One of them was that spring of 2020 where it was the COVID where we played at Beaumont. And
right.
So that was kind of different. But they had back-to-back undefeated seasons, but one of them they lost in the first round. So you can't count that as the best one.
And that's kind of my thing is I think they can lose it any given day.
Yeah. 409 Boys Takeover just had their first undefeated season and won the championship. The Showstoppers had an undefeated season in the spring of 19. They went 9-0. And then the Herd had an undefeated season at 10-0 in the fall of 15. I think if you took all of those teams and put them in a 4-team tournament, so I don't know who would win that.
Okay.
I think the Herd of the fall of 15 was fantastic.
No, we had a good team.
Now, the competition wasn't as good, obviously.
No,
but that team would have won anywhere, I think. The Showstoppers team of 19 was pretty good as well.
Right.
Because they had the most people. They had Jake playing quarterback. They were very consistent. 409 Boys this season were the best team that we've seen them ever have. and the Jack Boys of the spring of 18 were probably at their peak athletic
They were
ability.
incredible, yeah.
So all 4 of those teams, those are the only undefeated teams we've ever had in this league. So those teams right there, that would be a fantastic tournament.
It would, and I don't know who would win.
Exactly. I don't know who would win because I think every team could win the championship then.
And my problem with saying the Jack Boys are the best, because I think that it's legitimate that you would think that they're the best. But my problem with that when you're talking about this 14 thing is a lot of what I can think about is I know the Herd will be there and it'll be the same as it would ever be. Showstoppers will play the same as they would ever play. I know the 4-9 TakeOver will play just like they play. I don't know what the Jack Boys' demeanor would be like that day. They might fight each other and get disqualified. I don't know. So that's why I put 4-9 TakeOver over them.
And I just go back to the Herd from the undefeated Herd team from the fall of 15. We had Noah at quarterback. Noah was our quarterback. Our offense was so expansive. We had 20 plays we ran. It was a gigantic offense we ran. Our defense was incredible. So
the weight of the team collectively was very lighter,
much
a lot
smaller.
lighter.
So that would be fun to see if you could ever do something like that. To see who it would be amazing to find out who would win that.
Well,
But,
we can't.
We can't. But think about it. We've only had 4 teams that have been undefeated since the fall of 15.
Yeah.
That seems it seems like that would be more, but it's not.
You know, and as an honorable mention, I'll say I wish the Diamondbacks had played more.
Yeah, they were getting better.
They were a fun team. I liked those guys, being around those guys. I thought they were cool and they were into it. So I wish they had played more.
The Punishers were like 5-28 or something like that. I didn't see that one.
I don't miss them. So.
The Publishers.
No, they're all right.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, that is all that I have for any of this. Do you have anything else?
No, that was a lot of research. I'm tired.
You did a good job. That was great.
It was fun, and now I don't want to do that ever again.
Okay. Well, I guess we're actually going to do a special episode for the next one. We'll go to the Herd season after party.
The Herd gathering.
And we'll have Mitchell Wilson and others on the podcast, and you guys will get to hear from them. So until then, I wish you all the success.
#don't. And good luck.